Hey, gang, it's Dr. Brian McCarley with another episode of Doc About Town. And today we get a chance to jump in here and have a conversation with Jason Hunt from the Jewelry Gallery in Westfield. Did I say that right?
Yes, you got it right.
Jewelry Gallery, Jason Hunt. And they are located in the shopping center at Cary and State Road 32.
Westfield Marketplace.
Westfield Marketplace,
Westfield
that's what it's called.
yeah.
Okay, there we go. Good. See, it has a name. I didn't know that. That's good. So, Jason, thanks for taking time to meet with us today.
No problem.
This is great. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you.
I know you guys have done some great work for Michelle in the past, so we love that.
Cool.
So, yeah. So tell us a little bit about your experience and your history. How did you get started working in the jewelry industry?
Well, I started back when I was about 16 years old. I was in high school. My parents got into the business. My mother, my father, and I up in Kokomo, Indiana.
Okay.
Because actually my uncle was in the precious metals business, refining and buying precious metals. And we started out selling gold chains back in the day when ropes and herringbones and nuggets were popular.
Okay.
My father worked at General Motors and started selling out on his break times. And then he said, hey, we need a little store. So I was 16 and my mother and I found a little spot to rent in Kokomo. We started a little store. He says, hey, you ought to go to jewelry repair school. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds like fun. I was like 16 years old. So I started up there. We opened our business up in Kokomo in 1988. Gold Fever was the name of it, and it's still up and running. My sister and mother still runs it.
Okay.
But I helped create it and open it, and I was the goldsmith up there for 20 years. And I moved down to Westfield, and I saw an opportunity in this area is growing. So I moved to Westfield in 2001. I always wanted to live down here on the lake, so I was like, hey, I'll start a little store here in Westfield, do repairs, and be able to live on a lake and enjoy the water. That's what I like to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. So your focus is really what you particularly do is jewelry repair. You have a store here, obviously. You guys do retail work, but that's really your.
Yeah, I do. Right now, we have 3 other jewelry stores I do repair work for.
Okay.
I've got 2 other wholesalers that bring me their work.
Okay.
Actually, I've got 3 wholesalers now that I'm doing work for, and I got 3 stores. So Rick's my other jeweler. So we're both bench jewelers, master goldsmiths. He's got 35 years experience, and I got about 34 years experience in the repair industry and jewelry industry, and that's what we do. And
that's a lot of experience repairing jewelry, and that's because you're dealing with things that are precious to people. A lot of cases. Yes, they have inherent value because they're jewelry, but a lot of times there's sentimental value too. So that's important to have that kind of experience to they can bring somebody they know is not going to tear up their stuff, and they're going to get back what they're expecting. That's good. That's great. So what is it about you guys here at the Jewelry Gallery that really sets you apart from, say, other jewelers in town? I mean, didn't necessarily name them, but everybody knows who they are.
I was just showing you that paper I had printed out with the examples of my prices. So like we call our competitors and we see what they're charging.
Sure.
Quick example, like the chain repairs, our nearest competitors are usually between $50 and $70 to repair a chain.
Okay.
We charge around it on the average between $25 and $35 for the same job. We're almost half.
Okay. Wow.
So we are a small store. We have very low overhead, and that's important in order for you or they as the customer get a good deal. More overhead you have, the more your product has to cost.
Sure.
To cover it. So I think we are a small store, but we're the store where you want to come and get a good deal. Great service, lots of experience. My store manager Lori does an awesome job. She's been here for 12 years. 13, gonna be 13 years. And then Maddie, she's been here for about a year now. She's doing great. So I got a great sales crew. We don't work on commission, which most of all stores work on commission.
Okay.
And that's I don't like that when I go somewhere and someone's trying to push something down my throat.
Sure.
When you come in our store, it's the prices. We're usually 30 to 50% lower than my competition. There again, because the overhead cost is extremely low. And we do a huge repair and custom design. With tons of that. We do a lot of that.
Okay.
So that's probably our repairs. I'd say 60 to 75% of our business is repair.
Repair side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And custom. Yeah.
And custom. So talk to me about custom. What kind of custom work do you do?
We do everything, anything jewelry related. I mean, custom make new engagement rings, wedding rings. Someone comes in and says, "Hey, quick example. Just recently, had a customer had a ring from Tiffany Companies, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's like $13,000." And I go, "I can reproduce that ring exactly. Now we got to change a little bit. It can't be the exact same,
right?
But it can be very close, and it's like for like $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh gosh,
same quality, same everything, same materials, and so that's one thing about custom. You know, a lot of people like these designer brands, and they can all be reproduced as far as similar items.
Sure.
You know, not the exact. We're not allowed because trademarks and all that good stuff.
Sure.
But, you know, you can have something.
The one that we did $20,000 last.
Oh yeah.
That's our Google review.
Yeah. It's on our Google reviews. I always push people to my Google reviews because they're great. I take care of everybody. Our prices are awesome.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, hey, you know what? Before you do any business anywhere, check the Google reviews out. Yeah. Of course, you're not going to get a perfect Google review. Everyone's going to have bad feedback because there's always someone that comes in with a chip on their shoulder that, you know.
Yeah.
Chip, you know, so.
And unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So, we try our hardest to keep all our customers happy and make sure everyone's happy.
Yeah.
With the product.
So what's one of the more interesting things that you've done as far as a custom piece? I mean, you mentioned the Tiffany piece, but some of the other stuff maybe you've done.
I've done quite a
stands
few
out over
nice
35 years,
pieces.
34 years.
I think probably my biggest piece was a good friend of mine, and they're friends because we're in this business. They found us 24.9 carat emerald cut DVS1, $500,000 diamond. I was she came in and said, hey, here's the pictures, here's the wax. You know, she already had the wax form done, and she was just pricing around. Yeah. And I did the ring, and this has been many years ago. It was like 6 carats total of diamonds, and wow. Yeah, it was amazing. It was in platinum. Had to have a special insurance policy because right now the item I can insure up to $100,000 ring you bring in, but anything over that I got a special insurance policy, which we had to get a special insurance policy for when I said it. Yeah. And it was a big claw pronged platinum. You know, there's an emerald cut. So my tools, it was so big, my standard stone setting tools weren't big enough. So I actually ended up using basically a hammer and a prong pushing tool to beat the prongs down on this $500,000 diamond. And you want to talk about sweating, but I mean, did this my whole life, but it's like, I mean, if you saw me doing it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, but that's just how it works. That's how it is. But I think that was probably my most famous piece, you know, $500,000. It's probably one of the most expensive rings in Indiana. Yeah. And, I can see why that would stand out. I beat a local down there in the Keystone area. I beat them. I was $8,000 on the mounting. They wanted $16,000. Oh, so she saved $8,000. But and I did give her a pretty big discount because I wanted to do that job. Sure. I wanted that under my belt. Absolutely. So, and she loved it. Turned out amazing. But that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. So what is, in terms of the retail side of things, so what do you guys really focus on here? Or you just kind of try to cover all the bases here? We don't have a lot of designer. We don't do a lot of designer. We do lots of estate, like this case is estate, that case is estate jewelry. Okay. That one's estate jewelry. Okay. We do huge in estate jewelry. Now, my estate jewelry isn't like the pawn shops where they buy something, they clean it, throw it in a case. Everything I sell in my estate has to be near new condition. Okay. Nothing has worn down prongs. Okay. Nothing's, it's got to be, matter of fact, it's got to be nice enough to where I can put it in the new case. You can't tell the difference. Okay. So, and, we're talking, a $4,000 ring in the estate case you can get for $1,000 or $1,500. Oh, wow. Okay. $1,000 ring. Huge difference. Yeah, I mean, we move a lot of product, and we do have an eBay store. I'm very concerned. My wife has just found something in one of the cases. Right on. Yeah, and we are a power seller on eBay with 100% positive feedback. That's extremely hard to get. That's very rare. Yeah, that's very rare. So if anyone knows anything about eBay stores, like I said, we're a power seller for almost 15 years. Okay. And 100% positive feedback. So anyone with that kind of feedback, if anyone does a lot of eBaying, when you see a store on there that has 100% positive feedback and they're a power seller, you can trust them with your life. Sure. I mean, literally, you can trust them with your life. Yeah. That's like the highest, grade you can get on. Absolutely. That's great. So for trust factor. Yeah. Well, cool. What else would you like folks that are going to be watching this later to know about the jewelry gallery here and the work you guys do? We'll try to do anything you want concerning jewelry. I mean, if you have any questions, if I can't help you, let's say I know the watch industry is getting really, really difficult right now, and I got a lot of people getting like have Rolexes and they need advice on them because the cost is, I can help people out with that, steer them where they need to get them fixed or where to go. Even though we don't do it here, I'm willing to help somebody out if it's something we don't do, I'll recommend somebody who I can trust, who I think's good.
Absolutely.
And I can always help everyone coming through that door. Let's put it that way. One way or another, I can make them happy when they leave.
That's great. So, well, I know, like I said at the beginning, you guys have done some work for my wife, and one of the pieces you did some work on is an heirloom piece that she had inherited from my late mother, and it looks amazing. So you guys did great work there. We really appreciate it. So,
why should somebody get an appraisal? That's one of the things.
Well, we do insurance appraisals. That's very important. Right now, we're charging $45 for an insurance appraisal, and I don't mind putting my prices out there because right now, Lori, what do they charge? Like $80? Most stores are charging between $75 and $90 for an appraisal. We're $45. But there again, why? Because our overhead is so low.
Sure.
And insurance appraisals are important. We check and clean for free. If anyone has you should have your rings checked at least once a year, if not every 6 months. Check because the prongs wear out. I was telling the guy earlier, he had a chain that was old. I said, jewelry's like a car. 200,000 miles in a car, it's done. You're gonna have a lot of repairs. Same way with jewelry. Once it gets old, you have to have a lot of upkeep and maintenance. It's not like, okay, I bought a $5,000 ring, it's going to last forever. That just doesn't happen that way.
Right.
You need maintenance on them.
Okay.
And we check things for free, clean them for free. Usually our turnaround service, if they have like re-tips or re-prongs, it's usually 1 to 2 days.
Oh, that's quick.
So we're quick, yeah. But we do everything right here in the shop.
So having things checked once a year is a great practice to get into. How about how often should we redo the appraisals, for example? For
appraisals every maybe 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the insurance companies usually require if you have a piece that's usually over 500, valued at over 500, and the different insurance companies are different.
Sure.
They want it updated every 3 to 5 years usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And we can look at an appraisal, someone's old appraisal, and say, hey, you know what, you need to update, or you know what, it's still about the same. And we'll tell you, we're not going to just charge you for an appraisal. Yeah. I'm going to look at it and go, you know what, it's going to be the same price. Check with your insurance company. Do you really need another one? Do you really need to spend $45?
Yeah.
If you do, sure, no problem, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But if I look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's went up double since then, then you need the appraisal.
Sure.
That's why they keep them updated.
Great. Well, Jason, this has been very enlightening. I love this. Cool. This is cool. Yeah. And I'm not a huge jewelry guy. In fact, I wear a silicone wedding band, so I'm not a big jewelry guy. But my wife loves jewelry, and so it's always a good idea to make sure you know what your wife wants. Yeah. So thank you for taking the time to meet with us this morning.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to doing some more business with you. Awesome. Clearly, I'm going to be back.
Yeah, awesome. And we appreciate your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. And to you guys watching out there, thanks for watching another episode of Doc About Town. As always, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Genesis Family Chiropractic and the Noblesville Elks Lodge number 576 for making this show possible so we can bring it to you each and every week. Have an awesome day.